Yeah, so I talked to the supervisor. He mentioned they are steel screws. Possibly he mentioned that it was maybe a bad batch of screws. You know, it happens here and there where maybe a certain batch receives a certain tolerance of screws that are not up to par, I guess you'd say.
I don't know if, are those usually, I mean, steel is usually the standard for those screws, right?
Yeah, especially with us. Like I talked to the supervisor, I was asking him if there's anything stronger that we recommend. He says steel would be the ideal. He recommends the steel ones. He mentioned, he said he has torqued a few sets of screws himself to like plus 20 pounds. I believe personally off his expertise, he mentioned it could be just a bad batch. He gave me like an example, which is we sent out like 3,000 screws to the company HK for a set of optics that we provided for them. Within that 3,000, they had no issues. And then the next 1,000 set of screws that we sent out to them, they had issues in that batch. So it could be within the difference of batches that were received where the screws may have an issue. Okay. So I believe it's just possible in the situation right now. You received maybe just a bad batch.
Hi, thanks for calling Holosun.
I got kind of a story here. So I purchased the 509T, and I used the provided screws that came in the package, and I was shooting for a video, and I did the installation and then the sighting in, and then I put about 53 rounds through. On the third round, it popped off and hit me in the forehead. Everything was tightened on there, nice and fastened. I used a Loctite and all of that was provided on the screw, and it didn't strip or anything, but it sheared off completely on the 53rd round. Just completely popped off. The screws are still in my pistol, and the other parts of the screws are in between the plate and the optic. Yeah, it almost knocked me out. It was it hit pretty hard, blood everywhere, and then the optic hit the ground and on the concrete. I don't know if it still works. I haven't really tried anything with it, but what's kind of your ideas on that?
You said when you torqued the screws down, you tightened everything to the correct, 15 inch-pounds?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Everything that was in the manual that showed you how to do it.
Personally I would say a gunsmith would be able to extract the screws for you pretty easily.
Okay.
So I would try that option. What's it called? Did you want to send the optic in for warranty? Is that what you were looking to do as well?
I was hoping I could get, since I paid for the optic, I was hoping I could get some screws from it or something.
Yeah, so I mean, replacement parts, we can get that out to you. I just want to see if you're more feeling like if you were wanting to send the optic in for any issues. But I mean, we can always send replacement parts out at no cost. So we could do that. I would say maybe drop the torque on the screws down to like around 12 inch-pounds. I'd say 15 might be like around the max, I would say. So if it did shear off around 15, I would say maybe 12 inch-pounds would be ideal.
Is that pretty common?
Loctite as well.
I mean, does that...
not that common, but I would say more so the 15 inch-pounds, I believe, would be more so the max amount of pressure we can put on those screws before we start noticing any kind of tolerance issues.
Okay.
So I personally would say 12 inch-pounds is where I would say would be a nice sweet spot, especially with the blue Loctite. That would help, secure everything down without the vibrations knocking anything loose.
Yeah.
From the recoil.
Is it?
That's an option. Oh, sorry.
Is it possible to get some kind of reinforced screws or something? I've never had this happen to me, and I have a lot of optics. I got the trijicons. I got,
I don't know if we really have more reinforced screws than what we offer. I can double check with our team, but I believe the screws that we normally provide are just the same set that we normally would get. I think possibly what could have been an issue was just maybe the screws were set a little bit too tight at 15. Nothing that was done wrong by your end. I just think that 15 was, I believe, a little bit too much for the screws. So maybe with these replacements, we can try 12 inches, see how that works for you. And if that works, you can let us know. If there's still any issues, we can always investigate further for you.
Okay. I'm kind of...
Get your email.
I mean, kind of gun shy about those screws. I'm not sure that I want to use those ones anymore. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time. Never had that happen.
I get you. Yeah, if those are not suitable for you, let me see. Next best option I can point you in.
It was pretty embarrassing. I was at the range. The thing popped off, hit me in the forehead. There was blood everywhere.
Yeah, no, that's pretty scary as well.
Yeah.
Check. See, he's got it there. So I'm looking at see if their screws are a stronger material. There is a company I sent customers to for a set of screws that are normally for a SIG, but they also offer 6x32 screws, which are technically the same size as the 509T screws. Their company is AB Prototype, so you can take a look at them as well. This is just a recommendation, nothing that I'm gonna say final option. Just giving you as a backup. But these guys, they have alloy screws here on their website. It's what it's listed as. So I don't know if that would make you maybe be a little bit more stronger than what we provide. I see some here are steel, but I believe that's only for the battery trays. I'm trying to confirm. I'm trying to look around too.
What screws come? I mean, what are they made out of that come with the 509T?
I believe. Let me double check. Let me get that answer for you. The answer I want to say, I don't want to say the wrong thing, so let me just confirm.
Okay.
Real quick. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, so I talked to the supervisor. He mentioned they are steel screws. Possibly, he mentioned that it was maybe a bad batch of screws. It happens here and there where maybe a certain batch receives a certain tolerance of screws that are not up to par, I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we can get some sets out to you. I can get a few extras. That way you have multiple on hand.
Okay.
And then we can get those out to you. And another plate as well, maybe, if that would be something else would be. An adapter plate for the unit.
I think so. It hit the ground. I haven't really looked at it. I was kind of baffled about the whole thing.
And I mean, just a fresh mounting interface maybe wouldn't hurt, just to have fresh everything. And then from there you can kind of gauge if it's another bad set of, I guess you'd say, mounting tools.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we can get that sent out to you. Can I get your email, please, and I can send you that information? All right. I'll get that information sent over to you right now. You can just get that back to me whenever you have a chance.
Okay.
Put that to our system. We'll get those extra tools, screws and plates sent over to you, and you'll get a tracking number. That way you can track them on the way out to you. And then, you can stay in touch with me from there and provide me updates.
Are those usually, steel is usually the standard for those screws, right?
Yeah, especially with us. Like I talked to a supervisor, I was asking him if there's anything stronger that we recommend. He says steel would be the ideal material that's used. He mentioned that the alloy ones I was talking about after would be, I guess you say, second best over steel. So he recommends the steel ones. He mentioned he said he has torqued a few sets of screws himself to like plus 20 pounds.
Okay.
A few pistol optics, and he hasn't had any issues. So he says that if there's any issues with the screws, you'll notice it. But if it's not, the screws can handle way more than 15-inch.
Okay.
I believe personally, off his expertise, he mentioned it could be just a bad batch. He gave me like an example, which is we sent out like 3,000 screws to the company HK for a set of optics that we provided for them. Within that 3,000, they had no issues. And then the next 1,000 set of screws that we sent out to them, they had issues in that batch. So it could be within the difference of batches that were received where the screws may have an issue.
Okay.
So I believe it's just possible in the situation right now. You received maybe just a bad batch.
Okay.
I send you multiple sets of new ones, like have maybe 3 or 4 extras. That way you have a few sets to play with. So that way there should be no issues with just those screws. And then you have a new adapter plate as well. That way you can test everything. But yeah.
Okay.
You have my email, so if you have any questions or anything, you can stay in touch with me, and then I'll get back to you as quick as I can.
Okay, sounds good. I really appreciate your help and your thoughtfulness with this. It was kind of an ordeal.
No, of course, I understand completely. Yeah, I apologize for that inconvenience, but hopefully with this next replacement, we should get everything nice and situated, and hopefully there are no issues in the future after we get everything replaced.
Alrighty, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Of course. Yes, sir. Yep.
You too. Bye.